Listen closely because right now there's a fire burning deep inside every angel investor watching this. A fire that demands more than just the usual noise, more than endless pitches cluttering your inbox with nothing but hype and empty promises. You know the feeling? Sifting through cold emails feels like wading through a swamp of sameness. Each message blares its excitement, but none speak your language, none truly understand the weight you carry. You're tired, exhausted from filtering out the signals from the noise, desperate to find that one spark that can ignite something real. The problem isn't just the emails, it's what lies beneath them. The system that trains founders to shout louder instead of smarter, to race for clicks instead of meaning. It handcuffs brilliant visionaries to scripts designed to tick boxes instead of strike chords. You see the same mistakes: generic intros, vague ideas, desperate pleas. You feel it burning inside. What if there was another way? A path not for the masses, but for the few who refuse to settle for mediocre exchange. Here's the brutal truth. A cold email can land an angel investor. Not because you're lucky, not because you spammed more or shouted louder, because you figured out how to cut through the wall of indifference with something no one else dares to send, something raw, something honest, something that reverberates on the same wavelength as your own restless spirit. The trick? It's not about what they say on those how to write cold emails blogs. It's about diving deep into the unspoken pain and hopes that swirl inside the person on the other side, the investor who's sick of noise but hungry for change. Your message has to do more than convey business. It has to unlock a door. One that opens straight into the heart of what drives an angel to say yes. The thrill of being part of a revolution. So what does that look like? It means every word should feel like a match struck in the dark. A sudden flash that cuts through complacency. Forget selling your product first. Sell the story of breaking the system that traps us. Speak to the truth that progress never came from the center. It always burst from the edges, from the defiant few who refuse to live by rules designed to keep them small. Tell them you're one of those few. Here's a secret that most founders miss. Angel investors don't invest in ideas. They invest in people who refuse to be tamed, people who embody rebellion and raw potential, who are not asking for permission but offering a chance to unleash something feared and extraordinary. Your email must roar this before it says anything else. It must say, "I'm not here to please the system, I'm here to burn it down, and I want you to be part of the fire." How do you do this in less than a minute's read? You start with empathy that stings. Show you know their pain because you've lived it too. The endless sameness, the slow death of genuine disruption under piles of shallow pitches. Then, drop the cloak of generic professionalism and be brutally human. Nail why your vision matters, not as another startup, but as a crack in the facade that hides real freedom. Then, trumpet the promise you bring, real impact forged from hardship, something the comfortable investor will never touch, but the true visionary craves. And throughout, inject the pulse of those who refuse to bow. Don't get lost in conventional value propositions. Instead, reveal a glimpse of the new world you're crafting, where individual fire is reignited, where conformity crumbles, where investors don't just fund, they forge alliances in a shared mission to rise beyond the status quo. Offer your future collaborator a mirror reflecting a world they already hunger for. A glimpse of liberation, not just profit. But beware, there is no cheap trick, no standard template that can mass produce this magic. It's forged in the fire of deep connection. The very best cold emails are an act of war against the ordinary, a manifesto wrapped in less than 200 words. There's no room for filler, no tolerance for fluff. It's a razor-sharp bullet that finds its mark in the chest of indifference. One email like this can blow open doors others couldn't even approach. And here's what's often hidden. Landing an angel through cold outreach isn't a one-shot. It's a process of patience, precision, and ruthless clarity. The best senders don't expect an instant yes. They build whispered conversations with a handful of allies, each note revealing more about the shared vision. Each message isn't just a request, but a movement nudge, pulling the investor closer into the orbit of something bigger than simple returns. You win not by casting a wide net, but by aligning like iron to magnet. attracting only those who understand that liberty is won in the long game and who are ready to burn with you, even when the system tries to snuff the flame. Here's what separates the noise from the signal: obsession with the investor's world, not your own script. Ask yourself, what matters so much to the person sitting behind that inbox? What invisible wars are they fighting? Are they tired of safe bets that never pay off? Are they ripped between loyalty to the system and a dark hunger for the exceptional? Are they haunted by the feeling that time is slipping and greatness is waiting just beyond their reach? Your email must feel like a lifeline tossed over the darkness. To do this, abandon the usual bait and switch. Start with a truth that resonates, something so unsettlingly real it commands attention. Maybe it's a one-line confession about the isolation of investing in the extraordinary, or a stark question about the cost of playing safe. Then, step boldly into a shared vision. Don't promise just portfolios. Promise transformation, redefinition, rebellion against the very idea that you have to live within lines drawn by others. Invite them to join, not a deal, but a revolution of the few who refuse to be measured by the old world's yardsticks. Never underestimate the power of specificity and rarity. Almost every cold email looks generic. Fill in the blanks, generic intro, tired compliment, then pitch. That's the death of connection. Instead, show you know them personally. Drop clues you've studied their story, their own rebellion. Align your purpose not with generic growth, but with their unique ambitions. When an investor senses that you're speaking straight to their soul, across the fog of thousands of pretenders, your chances explode. And do not forget the emotion behind logic. Investors are judged by numbers, but they decide by feeling. Craft sentences that throb with urgency, with the raw fatigue of those who know. Time slips like sand through fingers. Infuse your pitch with that burning dissatisfaction with the world as it is, the restless refusal to accept the ordinary as fate. That's the pulse they feel inside themselves, but few can communicate. Be the voice that translates that pain into a rallying cry. Be the one who offers not just a business plan, but a blueprint for liberation. Remember, the biggest mistake is to sound hopeful without appearing fierce. Hope is the drug sold by the system to keep people complacent. What investors really crave is the rare kind of hope born from rage. Rage at the chains, at mediocrity, at being forced to play by someone else's rules. Your email should sit heavy with that rage, tempered by the clarity of your vision and the fierceness of your will. Let every word tell them, I am done waiting. I will not be ignored. And together we can build a future this world isn't ready for. Lastly, master the art of the close. Don't beg. Don't politely ask for time as if you're a supplicant. Command attention with a call to action that invites joining a movement, taking a stand. Something like, if you're sick of the same old stories and ready to back the few who refuse to settle, let's talk. This isn't a casual meeting. It's the spark of alliance in a rebellion against the mundane. So yes, a cold email can land an angel investor if, and only if, it carries the weight of this truth, this fire, this unyielding refusal to be small. It's not about luck. It's about wielding your words like weapons, breaking through the illusion of freedom sold by the world to find the raw power of genuine connection. When you speak not to a mailbox, but to the core of the human who built it, that email doesn't just reach an investor. It ignites a partnership that can shake foundations. And that is the only kind of cold email worth sending. My